Hello everyone, this is Korosh Erfani and today is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026, and we are going to discuss a very sensitive subject of the possibility of a war between the United States and Israel with Iran. So this is something that is going to happen according to all the evidences that we have. We are getting more and more news regarding the preparation for this war. For example, here you can see from the Financial Times that says the possible upcoming war will be more extensive than the 12-day war. It's a matter of arriving the CENTCOM command and control aircraft in Jordan in order to supervise this operation. Other sources are reporting about a huge amount of weapons, arms, and forces in the region. Here it says that the US has now deployed more forces to the Middle East than during the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, and the Iraq War combined. So you can have an idea about the accumulation of all these forces over there. We have the details about everything that is getting assembled over there. So from a point, we cannot talk about anymore just the probability or a possibility, but we are talking about something that is going to happen as an actuality, right? And it's a matter of time only, and the people like this guy, who is Lazard, CEO and former Obama Treasury Secretary Peter Orszag. So Lazard is a very interesting word for talking about him. He's saying in an interview that the US will bomb Iran in the coming days. So that's something published by Max Blumenthal. And it looks like that every move that we have by the military forces, either in the Iran side or on the other side, like Israel, for example, or the United States, is telling us that this war is going to start very soon. It's a matter of a few hours or a few days. So we know that, as the example of Venezuela showed us, that when you start to aggregate more and more forces somewhere, is not anymore just to put pressure on a country, but just it's a preparation, it's a military shift of situation to act. To pass to action and to do something. And this is what is happening right now in the Persian Gulf and in the Middle East in general. And there are, some gossips also. It's not exactly news, but some people, for example, here are talking about the possibility of a nuclear test by the Iranians because of an earthquake of magnitude of 4.4 Richter at the profundeur of 10 kilometers only, the province Iranian of Kerman. So we are not sure about that, but what is sure is that there is a huge action in the region by all forces, and the quantity of the forces that are assembled over there is showing that something big, something important is going to happen. But I would like to explain a little the context. When we have a better understanding of the context, we can see if all these news make sense or not. And for that, I am going to explain all this evolution of the situation from a few years ago, and essentially from the October 2023 till now, and mainly and specifically for the last year, just January 2025 to January 2026. So something big is getting prepared, we can say, is going to happen, but it hasn't really started, but it's going to start very soon, very, very soon. But let me draw the framework in which this configuration could be born in the coming months or years. We can talk about something that we can call the New World Order map. If we imagine the globe, there is a global map, world map, and in this map we are going to have a new configuration where there are the centers of power, okay? And these centers are geographically defined, more or less, but more than geography, what is important is the political and military aspects, right? And of course, after that, economic and other dimensions of things. So in this new world order map, there are the division, and we can see how. First, in the Western Hemisphere, here normally it's the field of domination of the United States. So we are going to have the kind of Monroe configuration, and the same thing that we have in the doctrine of Monroe, again realized after more than 1 century, realized in the 21st century. Okay, and here it's a matter of North America, of course, Southern America, and Europe. And don't forget that the reason for which the United States wants Greenland is because it wants to establish the hegemony of the United States across all these regions, Western Hemisphere, in the most general definition of the term. The United States doesn't want Europe as a competitive force in the European continent. It wants to be the only one. And that's why the European Union is really worried about what is going on, because they know that if they cannot really stand up against this new colonialism of the United States, they will be completely put aside, as a secondary force in the new map. So that's why for the European countries, it's vital to find a solution in order to have more or less an equal status with the United States. They don't want to be dominated by the United States, actually. All right. So that's why it's very sensitive. But we should know that such a thing for the United States is unconceivable. United States cannot see the Western Hemisphere divided, between United States of America and, on the other hand, European Union. It doesn't make sense. At least for this new world order map, it doesn't make sense. So that's why what had been promised in Davos regarding Greenland is just an ephemeral solution and the United States will be for sure very aggressive regarding the Greenland in order to establish their center of command that will be for the whole Western Hemisphere. So we can talk about that more, but that's something that is going to happen for sure, and there is no peaceful solution for Greenland between the United States and Europe. This is the first part, Western Hemisphere. We are talking about the New World Order map. This is an order that is burying completely the old order in order to be born and to be established for the coming decades. So that's the first element. The second element will happen in Asia, and I am talking about the East Asia, where China will be the dominant force for the whole region over there, including Japan, Taiwan, and all the countries around will be dominated by the Chinese force, we can say. I am talking about the military and economic force of China, of course. It means that in this, let's say, sharing the whole globe, China will have this big share of East Asia to itself, including Taiwan. And of course, it's not a matter of occupation of the whole East Asia, but being the hegemonic force in that region. That's why Taiwan for sure will be occupied by China as soon as other events are going to happen in the coming, let's say, weeks or months. And from that moment, China will be the major force in that region, in the East Asia. We are going to have a very interesting surprise for the East Europe. That region will be dominated by Russia. So that's why the fate of Ukraine will be determined in function of this establishment of Russia as the main force in that region. So that's why the United States wants to be, over the head of the Europe in Greenland in order to protect the Western Europe for itself. Eastern Europe, of course, is for Russia, but Western, as the Western Hemisphere in general, will be the share of the United States. This is how they are conceiving the things. And finally, we come to the most interesting part of this New World Order map, which is for the West Asia. So in that region, we are talking about what it said Middle East, but it's Middle East and a little beyond that. Here, Israel is planning to be the hegemonic force. The hegemony will belong to Israel in that region, the whole Middle East, and even a little beyond that. A part of the let's say Central Asia, a little part of the East Asia, Eastern Asia, and I am talking about the region like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and so on. So Israel wants to be the only force, the real hegemony of that region. So how it can be so? Only and only we can talk about the other parts in the separated videos, but here I would like to develop a little what should be done in the West Asia in order to having the hegemony of Israel installed. Okay, so here there are several forces that can be seen by Israel as a kind of impediment. These are the countries that are, we can say, obstacle to the hegemony of Israel. So that's why they have a plan in order to get rid of all these hindrance countries. All right, I'm talking about Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, and most probably Saudi Arabia. These are the countries that cannot exist as such, as they are right now, if Israel wants to, dominate completely, if they want to possess that part of the globe that we call West Asia in general. So in order to do so, they start with Iran, which is, according to Israelis, the weakest piece of this chain. First of all, they get rid of Iran, and of course, such a war will, in a way or another, involve the other countries like Turkey, like Pakistan, and most probably a few of the Arab countries of the Persian Gulf. So from that moment, the United States has to take care of all of this. So if you see as I told you, the quantity and also the quality, the combination of all the forces and the different kinds of weaponries and navies, navy ship that are there, you get the idea that all of this cannot be only and only for Iran. And if you have this impression, that's the correct one, that's the right one. Iran doesn't have really such a military force to be able to challenge something that is, we said in one of these posts that we reviewed together, the equivalent of everything that the United States had brought over there for the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, and the Iraq War combined. That's something that goes beyond the capacity or the capabilities of the Iranian military forces. And I think there is a reason for that. Of course, you guess which one, because they know that they have to, the Americans know that they have also to take care of other impediments of Israel in the region. It's impossible to start, something and then let it unachieved and come back, I don't know when, now to take care of Pakistan or Turkey. That would be together. Of course, together, it doesn't mean at once, right? But one after another. This is the plan of Israel. Israel wants to be the absolute and the only power in the region. So that's why nobody can imagine the existence of a nuclear power than Israel in the region. So I'm talking about Pakistan. Of course, Pakistan must be somehow destroyed, and as Israel cannot do it alone, so this huge military machine of the United States will be there to first take care of Iran, which will be a matter of a few days or a few weeks, because we know that the Iranian regime is completely in shambles right now. It doesn't have really any strength that can help it enduring, lasting. Of course, it can hit Israel, it can hit the American bases, but for a short period of time. And with the huge firepower of the Americans, I don't think that the Iranian regime is able to resist, right, or to stand up for a long time. It's a matter of a few days or a few weeks, unless I am wrong and there is something that we don't know regarding the military capacities of the Iranian regime. For example, there are many news that are talking about sending many new weaponries by Chinese, by Russia to Iran, which is something important. But is it enough to change completely the military equation in the region in such a way that Iran can stand up alone against the United States Army, against the Israeli military force? I don't see that. And essentially, after this last movement of protest where there were mass killing in Iran, the population is ready to get rid of the Iranian regime, and that's why there would be very, very complicated for the Iranian government to really last and stand up and resist for more than a few days, I think, if I am not wrong. We will see, unless there is a surprise somewhere that we don't know. So, as I told you, after Iran, it's a matter of how to get rid of Turkey, because Turkey doesn't have the nuclear weapons. So that's why bringing it into the war by Israel will be done most probably by what is going on right now in Syria and in Iraq. I am pretty sure that there would be a huge conflict, military conflict in that region, which will involve the Turkish army, and that would be the pretext or the context to bring in the American force over there in order to, after Iran, of course, get rid of Turkey. These are the theoretical perspective that we are designing and just drawing. We are not sure about that, but these are the perspective, these are the hypotheses that we have to get. And of course, we know that there is a strategic alliance between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. So that's why I said that in this list there is Iran, Turkey, and then Pakistan, and consequently Saudi Arabia. So that's why once it is done, let's imagine that once it's done, there is no any force that could be even close to what the military force of Israel represents in the region, right? And from that moment, the hegemony of Israel will be total and absolute in West Asia. And let's back to the scheme here. Once everything that is predicted, let's say, predicted in this map, when it happens, when it occurs, we are going to have effectively this new world order map, where the United States will be the main dominant force taking control of the Western Hemisphere. China will take care of the East Asia, and Europe, East Europe will be under domination of the Russia, and of course the West Asia will feel the exercise of the authority of Israel over its head. So if we have this framework and the things are somehow going in this direction, we are going to have that. And I think there are many reasons for that. Don't forget that in the previous videos we said there are many issues, serious issues, structural challenges in the United States And in Israel, don't forget that the American economy is in a very bad shape, despite the appearance of making a lot of money in the stock market. The real economy, the social economy, is going down, as you can see here. Now the number of the jobs that had been lost in the United States, that had been cut in 2025, is now more than 1,200,000 jobs, right? So we know that there are many failures, many defeats for the Trump administration, and that's why it doesn't have any other choice but doing something big, something huge. And I think what we are talking about the Middle East, which is to bring the United States, into something that is for the benefit, for the advantage of Israel totally, is something normal. So that's why I don't know if you have noticed it or not. This comedy, this circus of Board of Peace for Gaza that was presented today was not something serious. If you see that Trump is selling, a permanent seat in this board for $1 billion. So why such a board or such a subject turned into a circus, a mockery, simply because there won't be such a thing. There won't be any peace. There won't be any Gaza. There won't be any reconstruction plan. All of this is just a kind of cover for the main plan, and the main plan must be something like the one that we have been talking about as this new world order map, where Israel will dominate completely, we take control of the whole area of the West Asia. So this is a possibility that we are going to see, but I am warning that the war between the United States and Israel against Iran is something that is going to happen very soon. Some sources are talking about this weekend as a possibility to start the first attacks, but it could be this weekend or the next weekend. But anyway, it's coming very soon, and it becomes somehow inevitable, we can say. I think from the moment you have a huge assemblage of forces, military forces somewhere, that this is not anymore a potential, this is not anymore a possibility. This is something completely effective and actual that is just waiting for the good moment to be triggered, to be started. And this is what is going to happen at the cost of a huge risk for the future of our planet, for the future of our civilization. But this is it. As I told you in my previous video, we are dealing with some people who are completely psychopaths, who are affected by philosophical nihilism. They don't have any idea about what they want to do. They have a very odd and bizarre ideas like this one, dividing the world in 4 parts and dominating it to create something new. We will see. But unfortunately, as long as there is not really a real wise force, a force based on the wisdom, on sanity, as we don't have it as a real force in the streets, of course we should wait for this kind of madness being realized and putting at risk, the future of human beings. So that's why we should be attentive and see what we can do as individual or as a nation in order to prevent effectively war, because as I told you, unfortunately, 2026 is year of wars, and the first one is going to start unfortunately very soon. We will see. Thank you very much for watching this video.